Hi, Brooke. I'm so sorry. There's like towels on the bed and everything. I am doing your Yule tarot reading. This is the Fairy Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue. I really like them a lot. They are beautiful. So I've already shuffled the cards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them so that you can see. Not that it's blackjack or anything, but still. Alright. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and just start laying them out for you. And we'll interpret as we go. So this first card is what covers you. This is going to summarize your overall situation. Here we have the Four of Autumn. Autumn, this deck has seasons instead of suits, so I'll just let you know what they correspond to in case you ever want to look them up, or if you know anything about the regular tarot deck, you can kind of follow along. So Autumn is Pentacles. In a regular deck, Pentacles relate to Earth. So things that have to do with materialism, finances, family, stuff, earthy stuff. So this being a four, a lot of times, fours in a sense across all the suits. So of course numerology comes into play here too, and fours can be resting. But when it comes to the Pentacles, the four in the suit has to do with sometimes this will all make more sense as we go along. But initially, what I would say, it can be like a possessive attitude toward personal possessions. Not saying that that's you, but this card tells a lot about people maybe that are miserly, that they don't really want to spend a lot, and not even really just with money, but also, that has to do with the type of people that are like that. Guys that are very possessive of their partner, or people who just have that sense of lack and scarcity, that hold on too tightly to what they have instead of being generous. When we look at this card, so that we can, also go from an intuitive approach, what it tells us just by the pictures, I can see here, there's some gold spilled out right here. She is dressed in some finery, and she looks to be, a fairy with more money. And she has maybe like a little bit of a haughty look on her face. And I'm sorry, I talk a lot. This is going to take a while, just FYI. Then this fairy over here looks possibly like a look of maybe a little bit of envy. But if you notice, to take even a closer look, this is actually not even a separate fairy. This is a reflection in the mirror. So this just goes to show how, you can have everything. You can be financially abundant, be well off, but if you don't feel that way inside, you're not going to see that. So this fairy is looking in the mirror and sees an impoverished fairy, tattered in rags. They feel like they don't have enough. And so that type of attitude is what would lead to, being very stingy, holding on to things too tightly, and, not being generous or sharing, because they feel a lack of abundance within themselves. And so it doesn't matter how much they have, how many nice clothes they have, how much money's in the bank. Inside they feel impoverished, and that's going to be what they see, in their reflection. And that carries forward in their attitude toward other people. So again, this sums up your overall situation. Not by any means saying that is you, but we will expand on that here. All right. And it could mean that, you maybe don't see all that you have because you may be focusing, on things that you don't have. I don't know. But, all right. So what crosses you? This is something that affects this situation right here. So something that affects this is a really good card. This is the star, which symbolizes hope, right? And often it's hope that comes after a tragedy. So it's having been through a really rough transition, maybe something falling apart that was important to you, but at the end of it, being able to see that glimmer of hope. Now it is in the distance, okay? So it's not tangible yet. It isn't reachable yet, but there has been some indication that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So if you had been through something hard that maybe makes you feel like you don't have a lot and makes you feel like holding on tightly to what you have, that is influenced by a glimmer of hope. So something may be indicating that things might turn around for you. And we'll keep on going. Of course, those cards together, they will all tell a story. All right, and you'll notice that the cards do say things on the bottom. If you can see it, feel free to read it. I don't do that because depending on the cards around it, the situation, every card can mean 1,000 different things, and we don't want to limit it to just one meaning because that's not going to always be accurate. So what is beneath you? This is at the foundation of this situation. Could be something in the distant past. This is a major arcana card as well as the star, and these always signify major life events, so they stand out a little bit more than the others. Okay, so this is the Empress. This is a nurturing mother type figure. Okay, so this could be, and this would definitely be somebody who is very materially abundant. Now, and the Empress doesn't necessarily represent an actual person. It could, but it could just be at the foundation of this issue is knowing what it's like to have everything that you need, all of your needs met, financial and material abundance, being nurtured, or being nurturing, maybe having so much abundance that you could share with everybody without a second thought because it never took away from you. Having more than you knew what to do with, being able to let your generosity flow freely, and being in a state of fertility, not, necessarily pregnancy fertility, although the Empress can mean that in some situations. I don't feel that is what it means here for you. But, as you can see, going along with that, she's got a little baby fairy in the little pea pod. She's very delighted, and she's got, a lot of nice clothes, finery, there's gold, there's a treasure chest. Look at all that. She's got plenty. And then also it's important that she's a nurturer. She's got a little baby to take care of, so she uses what she has to care for others. She's definitely not, a stingy hoarder or anything like that. So, all right, there's that. The recent past, this is what's behind you. This is the High Priestess. This is your intuition. So this is that point. It's very early in the journey of you. But this is the point at the journey where you realize that you are magical. And being able to know and trust the guidance that you get from your intuition. Knowing that you sometimes just know things. Becoming aware of that little voice inside that can guide you. Becoming aware of the things that you know that you can't explain, and not questioning those things, just knowing that you know them and following the path that your spirit guides you to, whether or not there's any proof or any reason to do so. So this is saying that in the recent past, as it relates to this situation, you have become aware of an intuitive guidance and started learning to trust that, which is good. All right, near future. This is reversed. And reversals often just mean an obstacle, but it could just mean to pay attention. So we'll take a look at the card and see how we feel it means here for you. Winter is swords. So in a regular deck, swords have to do with communication and also some kind of, painful life lessons. The 10 is just kind of overkill. If it's communication with a person, they're beating a dead horse. Or if it's, if you're interlocked in a conflict with another person, it's just never ending. It's being dragged out. Everything that has needed to be said has been said many times over. It needs to be let go. So since this is reversed, this would indicate that perhaps something that needs to be let go is, facing some type of an obstacle toward being able to do that. Or, well, let's just take a look at we're going to flip it upside right so we can take a look at it here. All right, so we see, a fairy kind of looking out over a clear expanse, kind of, heading toward a new perspective. And so that's what happens, after when you reach that point of the conversation or the difficulty where you're just like, enough, then you're able to transition through this. 10s are their endings, but also the beginnings of the new cycle. So you cycle out through the end and starting something new. So this is ending of that, that difficulty or that tense communication and finally moving out of it. Since it's reversed, it's just like deadlock, whatever it is that's persisting, which could be a conflict with a person or just some type of a painful life lesson, isn't allowed to move through that cycle and to end because, there are either, people in the situation that need to let it go, or if it's just, not having anything to do with another person, you need to figure out how to move past it. All right. What crowns you? This is the best thing that you have going for you in this situation. So this is justice. A lot of times, I refer to it as like the karma card. Justice truly is blind. So it's not justice as you feel it should be. Like, it's really true, honest God, goodness, whatever, justice. So anything good, if you've put out good things that you feel have not been acknowledged at this time, the best thing that you have going for you is you're starting to reap the rewards of that. On the flip side, this card can be, anything underhanded or sneaky that you've been doing to other people that you have not had to pay for, or that would be something that you'd be having to face. But since this is in the position that it is, which is the card that crowns you, I would tell you that it would be a positive. And if it's a positive, then that may mean finally being recognized for some good that you have done, or some things being set straight. If a wrong story's been told about you, or if some wrong was done to you, that wrong is now being righted, and that is going to help you in this situation. Somebody's going to see the truth if it was obscured before, if somebody had a wrong interpretation of you, or if you were wrongfully suffering for something that you didn't deserve to be, that in this time is being corrected. Okay, now you in this situation, this is the Three of Autumn. Autumn is the Pentacles, once again, as we started here at the beginning. It is reversed, so, again, most likely an obstacle. We'll flip it over so you could take a look at it. All right, so Pentacles are, reward for hard work. Basically what that has a lot to do with is, like, the analogy I would give you is planting seeds, tending them, weeding them, watching them grow. So how that works for your actual life is, you're using your talent or your labor, and you're exchanging it for money and material comforts. So you, in this situation, have gotten to work on something that you're passionate about, but something also that you can profit from. And that's good, exchanging your talents for money. Now, it's early on in the stages, so it's just at a point where you're still doing a lot of learning, still doing a lot of growing. Things really haven't taken off yet, but at this point in time, you've discovered a passion that could also financially benefit you. Since it's reversed, there may be some type of an obstacle that you're encountering that's kind of stalling it out for a minute, maybe something that you need to learn before you can move forward, or some craft or skill that you need to perfect before you can advance more in this area. Okay. Your environment, which is things around you that are influencing the situation, not you, but other people or things that are happening in your life. Summer translates to cups. So the Three of Cups, this is like a celebration. So it's not definitely a celebration of the end, like not like, oh, we're finished, we're completed, let's celebrate, because threes are very early, but it's having reached a point where you feel that you can stop and, be a little bit happy because things are starting to go your way. You can see a plan starting to form. You can see things starting to come together. And, just like a mini celebration. You've reached a minor goal in the line of many. So it isn't, the end goal, but it is an important milestone. Also, Three of Summer can very literally mean women in your life. Like for me, sometimes, because I have a sister and a mom, so a lot of times it can mean my mom, my sister, and I. Or even the support of women in your life. Since this is in your environment, it's very possible that this indicates that what you have in your environment that contributes to this situation are women that support you, women that have your back, women that you trust and that you can collaborate with. All right, your hopes or fears regarding this situation. This is the Princess of Spring. Spring, again, that is, actually, I don't think you have any springs yet. You have got summer. So springs are fire. That is staves in a regular deck. That has to do with motivation, ambition, energy. Princesses are still a little bit immature, so you have access to a whole bunch of motivation and energy. Not quite sure exactly how to most wisely direct that yet. So there may be still, idealism happening, maybe some energy put to things that are maybe not the most practical. But overall, this is a great card. So what this tells me, since it's in the position of your hopes or fears, is that you hope for a surge youthful energy, motivation, kind of, you know, you want to get back to the idealistic part so you can be extremely optimistic, and you can use that optimism to fuel you toward achieving your goals. So we will set that one down. All right. The last card is your outcome. If you continue on the current path the way that you have been, as I tell everybody, this is for sure going to happen, and there's nothing you can do about it, because if that were the case, why would you get a tarot reading? This gives you an opportunity to see where things are headed, and if you don't like that, you can make different decisions at any time that will change your course. But if things continue the way that they have been, a likely outcome for you is the Six of Spring. This is awesome. This is victory. This is having, and again, you notice it's the 6. So you're not at the end yet, like we've said here with our little mini celebration. But likely outcome here for you, if you keep going where you're going, is you are going to experience some success. You are going to experience victory. You're going to overcome some things, and you're going to be in a place where you feel that you have been, as we look down here, rewarded for your talents and hard work. So hard work is being put in, like with justice, you know, you're getting your payout for what you've put in. You know, I see, you know, you're working hard, and we see that that is going to be recognized. And so the possible outcome is you achieving a victory. You will need to keep going after that, though. This isn't a time for you to rest on your laurels or get complacent or lazy or just be like, oh, I'm there, you know, and that's a mistake that I think a lot of people make. So the advice to you would be definitely enjoy your successes, but don't stop learning, don't stop growing, and don't get complacent. Just always learn, always grow, and keep trying to improve yourself in your situation. So with that said, I hope that you did get something out of this. Now that we've done the entire reading, it would seem to me, you know, that this doesn't necessarily mean, you know, like a stinginess or anything, but it may be a feeling of just not having enough to go around, but not realizing that you do, because you're not even aware yet of what is in the process for you. There are good things in the works for you, and it looks like things are beginning to go your way. And as long as you continue paying attention to the guidance that your soul is giving you, and don't give up, you will experience some victory. So, all right, well, I think I've been going on long enough. I hope you have a great night.